Hey guys, B Twice here. Today is Saturday, December 11th. I hope everybody is having a really good weekend. Today we're going to be taking a look at a couple variations of ES, which is the futures for the S&P 500. Lately I've been doing my counts on ES over SPX or SPY just because it's more fluid. You don't really get any gaps. So with that being said, that's why I started to use this as my counting method. It just seems easier to me, but basically any count that you'd have on ES is going to be very, very similar to what you would have on SPX or SPY. The difference is going to be your price level. So that's going to be the biggest thing when you're watching these videos and I'm using ES is that the closing level of ES, or where I might say, hey, this would be invalidation, you'd actually have to pull up the SPX chart if you wanted to do that, or you'd have to pull up the SPY chart. And then basically you could still draw the exact same thing that I have on there just to get the exact level. But basically what I do is I use ES for the actual levels, and then I set alerts off of ES, and then I'm generally trading SPY or SPX and at times ES, but generally it's usually SPY. So with all that being said, we're going to be taking a look at three different variations. We're going to look at two bull counts. I am bullish, so we're going to look at two bull counts, and then we're going to look at the bear count, which is like the top is in, world is melting. I don't see that happening right now, but it is possible, so we're going to go over that as well. That way we can see what the invalidation for that count is, just so we have in the back of our minds, just in case we do get a very, very big flush going into next week. One other thing before we get started I want to touch base on is I've created a trading Discord. If you haven't joined it, join up. It is free. I post daily charts of the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, and sometimes I throw IWM and QQQ, or not QQQ, IWM and the Dow on there. Um, I do some chart requests too when I have time, but I don't do them on a daily basis. I usually do them on weekends. So with that being said, let's jump into this. So we're going to be looking at my favorite count first. This is the count I favor, and it is what I would call the first bull variation. And what we're seeing is that we've pulled down for our wave two bottom, and we're in the beginning of a wave three. So we're in wave one of this wave three, and we're looking to finish off this wave one. So basically, going into Friday, what we knew was we popped up for a one, pulled back for a two, and then what we had was it looked like five waves to the upside, but this could have been a three, or it could have been that we've already finished our impulse and we were in wave two, and we're going to see that in a different variation. But with that being said, so we had our 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 taking us up for a three. Now, a lot of times in wave three, you end up having your extended wave B, your wave three, and that's exactly what we saw here. We have 1, 2, and then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is what I'm calling for our wave three top. So now going into Friday, we pulled back for an A, popped up for a B, pulled down for a C. So going into Friday morning, I believe on the Discord, I put out a chart that showed this bull flag and said, hey, if we can get this bull flag breakout, that was going to be enough for me to go long for this fifth wave up, because it would tell me that the top was not in here. And that's exactly what it looks like we're having now. So about midday, I typed in the Discord, hey, I'm adding SPY calls here. And the reason I did it was because even though we opened up and flushed back into the bull flag, we got back above it. When we got back above it, that was all I needed to see to know, hey, it wants to go for all-time highs here. I don't think wave one's in. Let me try to catch the move up here, and then once we get into this caution zone, we'll unload, and then we'll try to just load the boat down here. So with that being said, where do I think we're going? So I think we're going to be moving up to 47.30. We might even see that on Monday. We get a slight pullback, and then ultimately we'll be rallying up to somewhere about 47.50. I've seen charts that have it going up to 47.80. I don't know if we're going to get all the way up there, but it is very possible. But I'm calling this the caution zone, where depending on when our wave three ends, that's where we're going to try to make our exit. I don't know if I'll be waiting for the move up for five or not, and then I'll just be looking to load the boat on the way back down. So now I'm calling this the load the boat area, because that's going to be my wave two pullback zone. It's basically this downtrend line from all-time highs, or what I think will be previous all-time highs after this move, but previous all-time highs, and it just happens to be right at about the 61.8 and the 50% retracement. Sometimes in screaming bull markets, you won't get that much of a retracement. So what we're going to be looking for is, once we do top, we're going to be looking for a three-way pullback, and that's where we're going to go long, regardless of if it gets all the way down here. I don't care if it doesn't even, I don't care if it even breaks 4,700 again, right? As long as I get my three waves to the downside, that's where I'm going to be calling the load the boat area. But for now, this is where I favor. I favor somewhere between basically 4,600, right around 4,600. So let's take a look at these indicators as well. So we're on the 4-hour time frame right now, and what we're seeing is that the MACD is turning higher, looking for a bullish cross. If it can get that, I do think we will on Monday. It should provide a pretty decent move to the upside. And then obviously our RSI has broken out this downtrend line that it had been respecting, and percent R is not really showing us a whole lot. So with that being said, let's move on to the next one. So this is the other the bull alt that we could have seen going into Friday that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And that bull alt is that wave one top is already in. So let's take a look at this. So there's another way that we could have counted this. Now, mind you, we can look at this real quick and you'd see that I have it as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that pulls us up here for a wave three top. The difference is, and this is what I went to the 30-minute chart here so that way you could see it a little bit cleaner. The other way to count this would have been is that you had a 1, 2, 1, 2, and that here is your 3, 4, 5. This gives you your 3. We pull back right here for our 4. We went up for a 5, meaning that we've already peaked for our wave one. So if you look at this right here, what you'll see is that we haven't crossed the top here, right? So with that being said, it is very possible right now that we're going to get another flush going into early next week. And what we've seen is that we've had A, B, C pulling down here. And now this move up that I see as an impulse on the other count, on this bear bull, I'll call it, you could easily define this as a three-wave move, right? You could see right here popping up as an A. You could see this pulling down, call that a B. And then this move right here, even though we technically could call it either a wave 3 or a wave C, right now it hasn't done anything to really be defined as a wave 3 just yet, where you could say, hey, it's definitely not a wave C. So as of now, this is definitely very possible is that we topped on Friday and that we're going to flush again. If we do get this to happen and we do follow this count, we'll see another three-wave swing down here, and right around 46.50 is where I think we'll get our wave two by the dip. This scenario honestly could be just as good as the first bull alt. And the reason I say that is because we'll get this three waves early next week, and then it's just going to be an absolute launch pad right off this area. So the reason I would favor 4650 in this off this alt is because it's the 100% extension, which is the most common place to find your wave Y bottom, and we also have the last pivot AV WAP that's going to be coming right at that same location. So that's going to be strong support right there. So if we do get this alt and we get a three swing down at the beginning of next week, I'll be watching to see if it looks corrective and not impulsive. And if it looks corrective, that's going to tell me that we should be buying the dip right here beneath 4650. So I'll be watching this early next week, and then we'll have to play it by ear as price action kind of shows us where it's going. All right, so the very last count that we're going to go over right now is the dreaded bull count, right? So I do not like, or the dreaded bull count, the dreaded bear count. I don't like this count, but it is very valid right now. This bear count, what it is that we actually had a five-wave move down for a wave A, and that this entire structure to the upside has not been a wave one impulse, that it's actually a corrective bounce, meaning it's an ABC. Generally, when you have an ABC move, you usually have A, B, and then you'll see like the five waves kind of play out for C. Even though A is going to be a five-wave move, B is going to be a three-wave move, and C is going to be a five-wave move. This went pretty high for it to be an ABC, but it hasn't done anything to invalidate that. So this is still a technically valid count. I just don't care for it. So now let's get into this. So basically what we've actually seen happen so far is that we've already finished off our wave B, and that right now what the bears are saying is that this move to the downside is actually a wave one. So you could kind of see like a broken wave one, right? It does exist. There's nothing invalid about it, but I don't really care for it. But you'd see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you basically have your 5 somewhere down here, which is actually a wave one. So you could kind of say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's your wave one, and then now this three-wave move up is actually a wave two to the upside. As long as we don't cross 47, basically 47.13 on ES, as long as we don't cross that, this is a valid count, and that this wave two means that we'll get dumped from up here somewhere. It's going to be a wave three to the downside, so probably by Monday, or if we go flat, maybe Tuesday, we're going to have a very, very big flush to the downside, pop up and flush again. If we follow this count, then this is going to be a wave one. We'd see a rally. We'd see a massive drop down for 3. Ultimately, where we're going to be going is down into the 43, basically 4,400, but I'm calling it 4370. That would be the next area where we would find a major relief rally. So I don't like this count. I don't think it is where we're going to be going, but we want to make sure that we're aware of it being possible. That way, if this is exactly what the market gives to us, we know how to trade off of it. So I hope you guys like these videos. If you do, please drop a like and subscribe. And if you have any interest, join the Discord. The link will be below. Thanks, guys.